Good evening, everyone. Good evening. Good evening, everyone. Good evening. Good evening, everyone. Good evening. Please, if you are live, con. Okay. See. Hello. Welcome to my channel. I think I can see one or two persons. Please, if you are live on my channel, could you kindly comment hi? Hello. Okay, I think I'll just proceed. Maybe others can rewatch or review when they finally join. So welcome to Test of Niger Kingdom Wealth Hub. In today's video, I'll be teaching beginners how to start content creation, even if you only have a smartphone. Today's main teaching points are 1. History or evolution of content creation. What content creation means, choosing your niche, tools beginners need, how to create your first content, and common mistakes that beginners should avoid. Now, starting with the history or the evolution of content creation. Before 1995, you know, we had the print and the editorial era, you know, where where contents were created by professionals in agencies or publishing house, um it reaches the mass or their target audience through catalogs, newspapers, magazines. It was mainly for brand visibility. There was no direct user engagement. Then we moved to the web 1.0 and blogging era, you know, where we had the introduction of the World Wide Web as the primary media, which gave rise to independent journalists and early digital writers. This was around 1995, 2005. Then from there, we proceeded to the Web 2.0 and social media boom era, that is the 2005 to 2015, where we had first the YouTube, the Facebook, Vine, and I think Telegram. I'm sorry, Instagram. Yeah, Instagram. So it was from this Web 2.0 and social media boom, or this Web 2.0 area, that anyone could be a creator. You know, it empowered consumers to become active participants. So from this, we have the creator economy, which we also call the Web 3 or the algorithmic era, that is from 2015 till the present day. You know, here you have independent digital owners who control their data, their audience distribution, and their income without like platform gatekeepers having to control their activities. Now, with the Web3 content creation era, it represents a shift from an internet of of reading and writing, which is the Web 2, to an internet of digital ownership, decentralization, and direct monetization. You know, this I can see it's like someone else joined. Please, if you join, can you indicate in the comment section? Let me know who we have here. Welcome to my channel. Please, can you indicate your presence in the comment section? Thank you for joining. So I've spoken about the introduction of the topic. I'm currently on the history or the evolution of content creation. So, and we said we moved from the print editorial era before 1995 to the web 1.0 and blogging era between 1995 and 2005 to the web 2.0, that is the social media boom era, the 2005 to 2015, where anyone could be a creator, which it empowered consumers to become active participants. Then we still have something higher, which is the 3.0, that is the fourth era now, which is from 2015 till the present day. You know, here we have independent digital owners who control their data, their audience distribution, and their income without platform gatekeepers. Now, in summary, content creation has moved or rather evolved from ancient storytelling and print media into a multi-billion-dollar decentralized digital economy. Simply put, it has moved from a one-way corporate messaging to an era where anyone that has as little as a smartphone can build a global audience and monetize their digital presence. Now, what is this content creation? Juliet Isaac, thank you for coming. Thank you for coming. Good to have you here. Thank you for joining us. Now, what is content creation? Someone once said that our life itself is a content. The only difference is that some of us know how to monetize our content, while some will have our content unmonetized, because everything you do in your day-to-day activities is more or less like a content. You know, imagine the kind of things that go viral now: laughing competition, dancing, just as little as just laughing is a content, because there's someone somewhere that needs it. Now, looking at it formally now, what is content creation? Now, content creation is the process of producing videos, graphics, articles, podcasts, or social media posts that educate, entertain, inspire, or inform an audience. Now, in today's digital world, content creation can help individuals build influence, grow businesses, and generate income online. Now, the good thing about um, content creation in today's digital world is that while you are creating a content, for instance, to maybe promote your goods or service, you make sales from the goods and service, as well as get paid for putting out your content online. You understand? That's the very good thing about it. Now, it involves developing materials for online platforms such as YouTube, that is, create and share videos that inform, educate, or entertain. The Facebook, where you share updates, you share videos, live streams, and engage with audience. Instagram, where you share photos, reels, stories, and build a like strong visual presence. You have TikTok, where you create short videos, engaging videos that entertain and go viral. You have blogs, where you write articles and share valuable content that builds authority. And then you also have the podcasts, like where you show your share audio content, stories, and conversations that connect. Now, what are the types of content that we have? We've talked about content, how it evolves. Now, what are these type of contents that we have? We have video content, like the ones you see on YouTube's, on Reels, on TikToks, on live stream. Like this one we are doing now is a video content. You have the written content, like the ones you have in blogs, in captions, in ebooks. Then you have audio content, like the ones you have in podcasts, voice covers, and then you also have visual content, like on graphics, infographics, thumbnails, and the like. Now, choosing your niche. Now, this is very important. We've said what content creation is. Now, before you start creating this content, you have to choose your niche. As in, what do I want to create content on, or what do I want to create content about? Now, what is a niche? A niche is the specific topic or area you want to focus on. That is your specific role, interest, and passion that align perfectly with the way you feel, you know, and that can naturally drive and stand out from the crowd. Now, in choosing a niche, consider your passion, consider your knowledge, consider your audience demand, and then the long-term effects. It is very important. You see, this point, passion, is highly essential that in choosing a niche, you consider your passion. Because most times you really need this passion to keep you consistent, even when you encounter challenges along the line. In fact, if you have passion for something, the content, the topic of the content you want to create will naturally be flowing on its own. You understand? And then some of the examples of this niche are, it could be finance. You might want to pick a niche around finance and maybe create content that speaks around finance. It could be education, it could be faith, motivation, health and fitness, technology, beauty and fashion, or simply lifestyle. It depends on which you feel you know, goes well with you. You can just pick any of them and then flow with it. Now, remember I told you that I want this presentation to be as beginner friendly as possible. Now, we'll be looking at the tools that you need to start creating content as a beginner. Now, generally, these are some of the tools you need. The basic tools, the smartphone. In fact, the most important one here is the smartphone as a beginner. But generally, you have the smartphone, tripod, ring light, microphone, you know, that is for the equipment. Then for the apps, you have the chat GPT, the Canva, the chat GPT, which is like an AI multiple function, which has AI multiple functions. It can do it. You can do a lot with it. In fact, most of the things you see designed here were done by this chat GPT with the help of chat GPT. Then you also have Canva, that is graphic design. You have the CapCut for video editing, your Google Doc or your slides for preparing your scripts. And then you also have your ScreenPal, for instance, if you want to do screen recording, or you have your StreamYard or Prism Live. Like for this live stream, I'm using the Prism Live for it. Now, like I told you, that I want it to be as beginner friendly as possible. Of these things that are listed, if you have just your smartphone, you can start creation. You can start creating content. You know, you can start from there, start with what you have. Then as you grow, you can acquire other things. Basically, this content I'm creating, I'm not creating this content in a studio. I'm creating it as at the comfort of my sofa. Now, I only have my smartphone and then some of these useful apps, like I told you earlier on, like the Chat GPT, like the Google Slide. If I'm not streaming, I could also use ScreenPal. So even if you're a beginner, if you feel you have only just your smartphone, yes, you can start creating content and start making something out of it. Now, the step to create content. What are the steps that you need to follow to start creating content? Now, the first step is to research. You know, find topics your audience will be interested in. Remember, I told you it is good that it is in line with your passion, to keep it going, so that you can be consistent. Because if you don't have passion for it, if things don't work the way you expect it to go, you might just give up along the line. So think about things that your audience need that is also in line with something you have passion for. You know, find the topic that you want, do your research, find the topic that you want to, or the topic or the niche you want to be giving your content on. You know, you can have multiple niche for multiple, you know, pages, but for a particular one, at least you should have a particular niche that, okay, this is what I want to be dishing out on. Now, after you found that topic, now make your plan. Like for instance, creating a script or content outline, then record or design. Use good lighting and clear audio. That is, for instance, if you are using a studio, like in my case, now I'm using the simplest, the most beginner friendly as possible. It's what I'm using here. you know Now, record or design, use good lighting and clear audio. Step 4, edit, remove mistakes, improve quality, and then publish. Now, upload consistently on your chosen platform, you know, because as the more you upload, the more your audience, we feel glued to your channel and want to revisit your channel. And the more your channel will grow. Now, the common mistakes that beginners make. Some of the common mistakes that beginners make include waiting for perfection. I keep saying it that this video, I made it as beginner friendly as possible. That is, you don't have to wait till you have everything before you can start. You know, remember they said do not wait until the conditions are perfect to begin. I think was it Alan Cohen that said, he said beginning makes the condition perfect. You don't have to wait for the condition to be perfect. The fact alone that you begin itself makes the condition perfect. In fact, the best tomorrow is today. Today was yesterday's tomorrow. So the best tomorrow for you is today. Whatever you want to start it now with the little you have. Don't wait for when you have everything perfect, because there is no such thing as perfect condition. And then posting inconsistently is also another mistake that beginners make. Ignoring audience feedback, like going to your posts, checking what are your audience saying, feedback you get from your own audience, trying to reply. I can see we are three now. Please welcome to my channel. Can you kindly comment on the comment section? Let me know who is joining us now. Please, can you hear me? If you can hear me, please comment yes on the comment section. Chioma and Juliet. Please comment yes if you can hear me. And then for the person that just joined now, welcome to my channel. Please, if you have not subscribed to my channel, do well to subscribe. Click on the like button and also the notification bell. The third person, you are highly welcome. Please kindly comment. We know who is joining. Okay. Oh, boss Mohammed Kabir. Thank you very much, sir, for joining my channel. I'm really grateful. You are most welcome. Thank you for joining my channel. Now, we are on the common mistakes that beginners make. I said some of the common mistakes they make is waiting for perfect condition. And there's no such thing as the perfect timing. There are no such thing as perfect timing. In fact, the best time to start is now. The best time to start is now. Do not wait until the condition is perfect to begin, because beginning itself makes the condition perfect. You only need to start and ideas will keep flowing. As a content creator, you need to have like a diary, because idea can come at any time. Even as you are listening to this, ideas, or like I told you, that as little as a laughing competition can be a content in one of these platforms. Just a laughing competition, the most contagious laugh, and then people just begin to laugh and the video go viral. That is also a content. Though not a formal and informal content, but people still do it and make way with it. Now, another common mistake is ignoring the audience feedback. As you put forth your post there, go through the feedbacks from the audience, and then if possible reply to your audience. That will like give them a sense of belonging. That will make them want to revisit your channel again. Then copying others work completely, this one can also put your channel at risk. Giving up too early, this is the big one. For every big content creator today, they started small. If you go close to them and listen to them, they will tell you there are times where they felt like giving up. They'll put on so much in creating a video, put on so much energy, go through so much stress, and then at the end of a month, they have just 1-2 views, And that's why at the initial stage, I told you that in choosing your niche, in choosing your niche, pick something that you have passion for. Pick something that you have passion for, so that at that time when it looks or maybe seems frustrating, that passion will be what will keep you going. The passion will be what will drive you, will give you the drive that you need to push forward. Now, let's look at some content creation tips. Some content creation tips: be consistent. I already said so much about that. Post regularly to build your audience. Focus on quality, good audio, clear visual, and then create catchy titles. That is interesting titles attract more viewers. For example, okay, most beginners will think, okay, I need a studio, I need I need lighting, I need big gadgets before I can start. But if you tell a beginner that you can just start creating your content with just your smartphone, you know, there are many people out there that have been like looking for a way to start creating content. If you now tell them that okay, with just your smartphone you can do something, for me, I think that is a very a good and a a catchy title, you know. And then engage your audience, like we said, like I already said, from the mistakes that some content creators make, you know, engage your audience is very important. Then learn analytics. Learn how to view the analytics of every of your video that you post. Track what content performs best, which one did not perform best. Learn from the ones that perform best, and then correct what you need to correct from the ones that did not perform well, you know. So looking at this, from this we'll be going to some important things to note, or like I've always hammered on it. The one very important thing to note is that start with what you have. Stay consistent. Improve gradually and focus on providing value to your audience. You know, growth takes time, patience, and continuous learning. You know, so continue to learn, you know, continue to learn, continue to grow, continue to put out something in the audience. Before you know, your content creation will, go, it will go far. So with this, I think we'll come to the conclusion of this live stream. So before we conclude, let me leave us with this. Content creation is a powerful skill in this digital age. Don't wait for perfection before you start. Begin with what you have and improve along the way. Anyone willing to learn, anyone willing to practice and stay consistent can become a successful content creator. So thank you very much for joining my live section, and I hope you learned something or you enjoyed the section. Are you still there? Are you people there with me? Yes, thank you, Choma. I can see. So thanks for your time. See you in my next section. And as you go back, you could also rewatch the video from the beginning, from where we start, from where we talked about history and evolution of content creation, what content creation really means, choosing your niche, tool beginners need, how to create your first content, and you know the mistakes that beginners do. Yeah. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much, Mr. Kabir. Thank you for your time. With this, we'll come to the end. We hope that someday we'll all be counting our dollars, as we can see from the picture, from either from creating content or from any other activity that we do. So thank you very much for your time. Do have a wonderful night rest. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Thank you.